The internet is a technology that allows to connect people together, no matter how far they are from each other. And it is because of the internet you are able to watch YouTube videos and upload photos on Instagram and share them with friends. Simply, the internet allows devices to communicate with each other using standardized protocols. It allows users to access and share information, communicate with one another, and perform various online activities. At the core of the internet are data centers that house the servers that store and distribute the various types of content available on the internet. But how does the information travels from the data center to you, which could be thousands of miles away from you? This can be achieved using satellite signals. What happens is that the data center sends via an antenna a signal to the satellite, which the satellite sends the signal to your device using an antenna. Although some data centers can be connected to the internet via satellites, but this can be more expensive and less reliable, and they are also subject to latency and other issues. So if satellites offer poor connection to the internet in some cases, how are we able to connect to the internet? Data centers are typically connected to the internet through a network of high-speed fiber optic cables. They allow the connection between the internet and your device. We know that data centers are just home for servers, which they store the information inside a solid-state drive or an SSD, which acts as the memory of the server. And that server is just a computer responsible for sending content when the user requests it. You've requested to YouTube that you want to watch this video. Basically, YouTube servers send it to you. But how is it possible to transfer this video stored inside the data center to your device via optical fiber cables? First, you need to know what's an IP address. An IP address is given to each device who is connected to the internet. A server has an IP address, as well as a router, your phone, and any device who is connected to the internet. You can think of an IP address as your house location. When you order a pizza from your favorite Italian restaurant and give them your home address, they are able to find you and deliver your food. An IP address is similar, but it is used in the digital world. We know that a server can store any information, for example a website, which has an IP address also. YouTube has an IP address, so instead of writing youtube.com as your search query, you can just type its IP address and you'll be able to access YouTube. But imagine memorizing multiple IP addresses belonging to different internet applications. That is why we have domain names like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So when you write YouTube, it is like you're typing its IP address, which of course the server stores and knows the IP address of YouTube. Okay, so the server can store in it multiple websites, and to access these websites we use domain names instead of the long IP address sequence, right? But how does the internet knows that this IP address is for YouTube and the other is for Amazon and so on? Well, the internet uses something called a DNS or domain name system, which converts human-friendly domain names like YouTube to an IP address. DNS is often compared to a phone book for the internet because it maps domain names to IP addresses in the same way that a phone book maps names to phone numbers. An example, when you enter a URL into your web browser, the browser sends a request to a DNS server to convert the domain name into an IP address. The DNS server looks up the IP address associated with the domain name in its database and returns it to the browser. The browser then sends the IP address as a request to the data center, specifically to a server. That server will then send the data in a digital format of zeros and ones, which flows inside the fiber optic cables. These cables are placed underground by digging trenches or underwater by using a boat to deploy them. So data flows inside these cables as light pulses until it reaches its destination, which is your router, and this router sends you the data by converting it into electrical signals that will be passed to you via Ethernet cables. Or the router converts that data into radio wave signals and then send them to you via its antenna wirelessly to your Wi-Fi enabled device. But if you're using cellular data, the data will be sent to a cell tower, which converts that data to electromagnetic waves and send it to your device. Data at first is sent in a digital format called binary numbers, a sequence of zeros and ones, and they are divided into packets by the server. Also, the packets carry with them data as well as the server's IP address and the destination's IP, which is your phone. The packets are routed to your router and they don't go on the same route. They choose a path that is fast for them at the time. Before arriving to your phone, they are assembled according to their sequence number and then sent to your phone. And that is it on our journey in discovering how the internet works. I really hope this video was helpful for you. Make sure to check out after it this video where I go in depth about Wi-Fi and how this wireless technology works, or check out this interesting wireless technology, Bluetooth, and how it works.